Good afternoon, and welcome to SOS Radio Live. I am your host, Dr. Marlene Mack, and I am back for one more power hour of information that's going to blow your socks off your feet. Welcome to One Step Ahead Radio Show. I have a guest here that's going to give you a platform of so much information. You're going to be inspired. So buckle up because I'm getting ready to take you on a ride with my guest as she take over the radio waves. We want to welcome LeCoe Broadus.
Thank you so much, Marlene.
You are so welcome. It is a pleasure to have you here in the SOS Radio studio with me. It is my honor to just be sitting with you. I know you are globally known with all the wonderful things that you have done. And I just want to read a little bit about who you are, if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
LeCoe is a global wellness strategist. She's a transformation speaker. She's the founder of Fitness Compulsion. That's a global wellness brand helping high-performing leaders achieve optimal health, resistance, and purpose-driven performance. And that's really something. She's internationally recognized for her innovative approach to burnout prevention. Okay. She also deals with corporate wellness, holistic transformation, having led executive retreats and wellness workshops across the United States and Europe, the Caribbean, and Africa. Her clients include C-suite leaders, Army personnel, entrepreneurs who are ready to prioritize their well-being without compromising their ambition. LeCoe also is the author of the Nourish and Flourish book series and creator of the Wellness Multiple Effect high impact framework, which helped organize turning well-being into a competitive advantage. Her work has been featured on national stages, including the EY Entrepreneur Access Network Summit, the Hispanic Bar Associate Conferences, and international platforms like the Mideast Organic and Natural Products Expo in Dubai. Today, she's here to share her insights on how people can lead from a place of overflow, not overwhelmed, and why wellness is no longer a luxury, but a leadership essential. Let me read that again. Today, she's here to share her insights on how people can lead from a place of overflow, not overwhelmed, and why wellness is no longer a luxury, but a leadership essential. I welcome you here. It is my honor.
Thank you so much, Marlene. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here.
It is my honor. I want you to and we need to let them know that we are also friends.
Yeah.
We go way back, and our connection started back in 2004, 2005, 2006, somewhere in that area.
Mhm.
I was one of her children teacher when they were enrolled in my program. So that's how long that One Step Ahead has been around.
Yes.
And it is fantastic to see the growth of when you were starting out as a mom with your young babies as to where they are now. So what I really want you to do is give us a little bit background on where you're from, what your children are doing, and what are their achievements, and how you, as pretty much a single parent, have done a phenomenal job with those 3 kids.
Well, thank you for that, because that's my greatest achievement, is being a mother and the achievement that my children have had. I started out in the fashion industry. And when you were my oldest daughter's teacher, Madison, who is now has a degree in neuroscience, by the way, and does research at university.
Yes.
That's when you and I had first met, and I had a very demanding career in the fashion industry. I loved it, by the way, but it's very demanding, very long hours. And you worked with me in terms of my scheduling. And it was such a blessing because we don't work 9 to 5 in the fashion industry. There are many days I would work until 2 in the morning. And I had a nanny at some point, but I still needed that extra care because of, and so your school was really essential in that. And that's,
Wow.
yeah. So I thank you for the seed that you planted with my children as well. But my children are doing well. I have one more that is still at home, and she's aspiring to do marketing and actually take over my company.
Wow,
that's which I'm fine. I'm like, I'll be in a yacht somewhere, sipping some beet juice while you guys are running the company.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, my daughter, who has a degree in neuroscience, actually helps with the company now. And the precepts phase or section of my company, she does a lot of the research for that backs, the type of like meditation and things of that nature and what the scientific backing is. So she handles the research portion in regarars to that.
All right. Yeah. And you have a son.
Yes, and I have a son who
I know he's recently a homeowner.
Yeah, young homeowner. Like, oh my gosh, like in his 20s decided to buy a home, which I'm very proud of him. So he is doing well. He builds computers and science, things of that nature. Wow. So yeah. So
what town did you actually grow up at? Because I know we met in East Orange.
I grew up in Michigan. And then I moved to New York. I went to college at FIT, Fashion Institute of Technology. And then I moved to New Jersey. And I was primarily in the Newark area. And then, I moved to the mountains because I work virtually. I've been doing virtual training. Everyone started virtual training with COVID. But my company was really in the frontiers. We started doing virtual training back when it was Skype, before Zoom was available, and it was like in 2009, 2008, because I had clients all over the country at that point.
Yes,
and
did.
So
yes,
so we had to innovate, and so I believe I was the first virtual trainer out there. I haven't heard of anyone that did it prior to that. So back then we were doing our virtual training.
So you knew me right when I initially got my foot injury, I think.
Yes.
Was it before or after we met?
It was before. We knew each. Well, what happened is we knew each other before. My oldest daughter went to your school, and then at some point I got the nanny, so she didn't.
I remember that.
Yeah, but then you were looking for someone in wellness, and someone referred you to me. And remember, we looked at each other. We looked at each other. We didn't say each other's name. We pointed at each other and said Madison.
Yeah, we sure did.
And so we got reconnected. And I don't know if you remember. So I hold these wellness retreats all over the world. I even do them for corporations. Their wellness retreats or their corporate retreats. The company will put a wellness element or a burnout prevention workshop in their wellness retreat or their corporate retreat. But in around 2010, I started doing wellness retreats, and you came to one of my first.
I sure
ones.
Did.
And your foot injury had a major improvement.
Yep.
At the retreat, you were actually able to move it for the first time.
Yep.
And so that kind of goes into what it is that I do as a wellness strategist. Is we strategize your wellness goals. So we create a strategy for your wellness goals. And we map things out so that it's customized for yourself.
Wow.
And when we say optimum health, what that means is the absence of disease, injury, or the need of medication. So our bodies are really designed to heal themselves. We just have to give it the right environment. And that's what I do. I give your body the right environment so that it can heal itself.
Well, I know I have done, and I remember that retreat. It was up in the Poconos. And I remember I was so inspired. I remember that we had our own chef. We had food. We were juicing. We worked out, I think, 4, maybe 3 times a day.
Oh, yeah, we worked out pretty extensively. And,
I remember all the young ladies that were there, how we all encouraged each other, how they all encouraged me because of my foot injury. It was hard to get on the floor, it was hard to get out, but I kept on moving. I kept on counting. I know I got the gift because I was the one that counted the most, that counted 5, 6, 7, 8. If you said count to 100, I was counting. And you felt like that was really inspiring because I did not give up. And that's a thing about you and I and what we do, what we've been through, because we both know we've been through some personal things.
Yes.
And we didn't give up.
Right.
And look how globally you are known and what you do. Look at me from starting out right there on Clinton to 3 locations now downtown in Newark in the Gateway.
Yes.
And look at us still growing.
Yes,
and
being
growing.
able to grow together
Yes.
is amazing.
That is awesome. You said global wellness and mission. What does being a global wellness strategist mean to you? And how did you step into that role?
Yeah, and I mean that's an excellent question. And how did I step into that role? I think the role stepped into me because people started calling me globally to work with them.
Because I always wondered about that. I kept saying, how I'm still okay. I'm in the United States. I'm happy, but LeCoe don't went global. Like you in Africa, you don't been in Dubai. Like you're doing all of these wellness retreat out of the country.
Yeah, and so really, I had part of my self care. So my story is how I went. How did I go from fashion to a wellness strategist? Well, I suffered a weight problem. I was, I was suffering from burnout. I was, suffering from fatigue. I wasn't operating in a place of overflow. And I was over 100 pounds overweight. I was 100 pounds heavier than what I am right now. And I had my aha moment. And I guess right now, everyone would take a shot, which I am against, and we'll talk about that later. But back then, it was before this shot was out. And I was like, oh, I'm going to get plastic surgery. I'm going to get liposuction, a tummy tuck, a breast lift. I went to the doctor. I had everything mapped up. I had my pocketbook ready.
Yep, ready to go.
And the doctor was like, you need to lose at least 60 pounds. Because I was 215 pounds and I'm only 5'3" on a good day. And so he was like, you need to lose at least 60 pounds. I'd like for you to lose more. And that plastic surgery is not a resolution for obesity. And that's kind of, I was like, oh, I'm obese. Okay, so let me get this surgery and it'll solve everything.
Right.
But if you don't learn how to eat properly, and I learned how to make food my medicine, right? And not use food as a coping skill, and I also learned as to what my needs were. And as a melanated person, what does that look like and how do I need to eat? And it's, it was a lot different from the food pyramid that I was looking at. And so I studied anatomy and I implemented, all of these things. And when I started, I never forget, I started my journey May 28th. By November 4th.
Do you remember the date?
May 28th when I started. And the doctor told me, like, he can't do anything for me. I had to do it for myself. And I was like, okay, I'm going to figure this out because I'm skipping a major part. I got hit by a car.
Okay.
So I got hit by a car when I was pregnant with Madison. And she saved my life. I was a little over 6 months pregnant.
Wow.
But the impact would have hurt me more had I not been pregnant. So the car the bumper hit my knees first. I went over the car and slammed on my stomach. I would have hit my head. If my stomach hadn't been big or large, I would have hit my head first. And I was knocked out for a little bit, but nothing like if I hadn't been pregnant and I had hit my head on the concrete.
Okay.
And so she's a miracle. She's a miracle baby.
Before she was even born, right?
Before she was even born, she was there for mommy. But with that being said, the doctor said you developed early onset of arthritis. So I was only in my 20s, right? And so after she was born, they put me on bed rest. And as soon as she was born, I had surgery on one knee. And it was so horrible taking care of a newborn. And I had a toddler.
Right.
Surgery. I was like, I'm not getting surgery on the next knee. We're just going to figure this thing out. Right. So I just kind of suffered. But then I gaining the weight. So after I had her, I gained all of that weight. Okay. And there were some autoimmune issues, underlying autoimmune issues. And that was part of the reason why I was gaining so much weight. Is really a lot of inflammation and things of that nature. But being that weight, it was very painful. And it was like I would need help sometimes in and out of bed.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was really just like, how can I bring myself into what is called optimal health?
Mhm.
And so
Mhm.
again, I wasn't educated at that point, so I just thought I'd go to a doctor or a surgeon and have them fix the problem, and
So you
they
thought if you had plastic surgery, you were gonna be fine. They were
yeah.
just gonna say, yes, go ahead. We're gonna set you up. We're gonna do the tummy tuck. We're
Mhm.
gonna do all these wonderful things with you. We're gonna pump you here, flatten you here,
Right.
give you the curves right here,
Uh-huh.
contour here.
Right.
It didn't happen.
No.
Wow.
And it's a good thing that it didn't, because then that's only two. It would only fix the outside, not the inside.
And say that is so important. LeCoe is
Mhm.
we worry a lot about our outside, and we should. But you want to look good on the outside, but you want inside to be good
Your
too.
inside is a reflection. Your outside is a reflection of your inside.
Mhm.
So, with that being said, so I started May 28th. By November 4th of the same year, I was down 110 pounds. I went from 215 pounds to 100, and I was competing on stage. I did my first competition.
Because
So I
you did
competed.
competition. You
Yes.
competed in what was it called,
Yeah, well,
bodybuilding?
yeah. What my division was figure, not quite as muscular as a
Okay.
bodybuilder, but it's in the same.
So
Yeah,
you took 6 months, and basically from May to
it
November,
was around 4 months.
4 months,
It
and
was around 4 months.
transform your. In order to do that, I am almost certain the focus was not turning back at all. You were focused. You
Oh,
were
I was
determined,
so disciplined. I was
and
so
that's so
focused.
important.
And the self care part, because the question really had to do with me being global, right?
Mhm, exactly.
I didn't forget the question. I'm going
Okay, we
back.
gotta come back.
So, what part of my self care after doing this, and using food as my medicine, looking at how I needed to supplement my body personally, and then when it came to the self care component, luxury travel is how I would take care of myself.
Mhm,
Like, I just getting
mhm,
away, like literally, there's something called nature deficiency, and I
mhm,
work with my clients on that now. It's really big when it comes to corporations and doing corporate wellness.
mhm.
But we are not designed to be in a cement jungle or in a box or a cubicle all day.
Okay,
We were created in a garden, right? And
exactly.
so when we're suffering from this nature deficiency, it causes depression, anxiety, and things of that nature. So I would travel, and there's a certain way that I like to travel.
Yeah, of course.
And then, as I would go out and I was in this great shape, I would stay at places, and like literally there'd be like, diplomats at these places,
Uh-huh.
or
Okay.
sometimes it'd be royal family at these places, and it was like they would think I was a celebrity. They
Uh-huh.
couldn't kind of figure it out. They're like,
You are a celebrity. You
Thank
are.
you, thank you. I got. A lot of times people thought I was Serena Williams, but
You
especially-
kidding?
no, like literally, they're running after me trying to take pictures when I was in Europe.
Oh
Absolutely.
my God.
Absolutely. But so then I was able to share, my story with them and what I do. And I would, they were like, well, I will want to work with you while I'm here. But I'm like,
Mhm.
I'm on vacation. So if
Mhm.
you want to work with me while I'm here,
Okay.
you got to make it
Okay.
worth my
Okay.
while. And so what would
Exactly.
happen is, then from that, I just developed this. If this is what I need, other people need it as well.
Mhm.
And then the
That's so
word,
true.
yeah. And so I
That's
started
so true.
curating these executive retreats, executive luxury retreats, and you don't have to worry about anything. Like
Mhm.
literally, it's everything is planned for you. The places that we stay are beyond 5 star. They're like 7, 8 star. We have private chefs, but not just any type of private chef. In terms of, I curate an anti-inflammatory meal plan.
Mhm.
And so when we were just in Greece not that long ago,
Mhm.
and Greece, oh, it's
Who was
absolutely.
supposed to be a Grease and wasn't there?
Listen, she,
Oh,
she, she's supposed to be at everyone, but I got you for the next one.
okay. So y'all, so
Mhm.
so your meals are just not go hire a chef. You
Oh,
sit
I
down and
sit
go
down
with.
and I
Okay.
work with the chef. So let me, for instance, Greece has amazing food, but they have a lot of dairy in their food. And so most of my clients can't have dairy. People with melanated skin really shouldn't be eating dairy. And so I had to work with them on changing the recipes and making sure that they didn't have dairy, that we would supplement it. With my company now, we now have this intolerance test, which is absolutely amazing. And so there's several different ones, but the one that's the least invasive It's a hair analysis test. So we take a couple strands of your hair. It
Mhm.
could be like beard hair, leg hair, things of that nature, and we analyze it. And it comes back with an 84-page report of your hormone levels, food that you're sensitive
Okay.
to, your vitamin levels like vitamin B, vitamin K, different things of that nature, how things are interconnected. It looks at any inflammation in your joints or your kidneys. And then from that, I'm able to customize a plan. But for my clients who take the analysis and then go on the retreat, we're able to customize their meal plan with the chef according to that as well. So you're immersed in nature. It's different from the one you went to. We don't go there, and I don't wear them out exercising a couple times a day. We do excursions that double as workouts.
Okay.
And like Greece is very mountainous. So we were in Crete, Greece. So you want to go to a beach, you're hiking up a mountain. Like it just is, you have to go up the mountain and then.
So what was the yacht about?
Oh, well, the yacht was about because we deserve to be in a yacht.
I'm looking at these pictures and I'm following you, and I'm like, I was supposed to be with her. She wanted me to come. But I'm gonna make one of those global retreats because they really sound really, really, really nice. And I do, like I said, I do follow you, and this is not something that you do here and there. You are constantly traveling.
Oh, the demand. The demand is really increasing. So fitness compulsion, we do our own, and we're doing. I have one more planned this year. I could have knocked out two, but the month of November, I'm doing a lot of conferences, and so I'll be speaking in Miami at the MNSDC conference. I'm so proud to be doing that. It's over 5,000 people that are signed up for that
amazing.
Conference.
I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And you have something else coming up soon.
Yes, I have a summit that I'm doing with Kim Baker. Kim Baker.
Shout out to Kim Baker.
Yes. She's an amazing executive as well. She's the owner of Glamazon Cosmetics. Her cosmetics are everywhere.
Yes.
Nordstrom's, Amazon.
Yes. And just to stop you for a little bit, I don't know if you guys can see, I actually have on Glamazon.
Oh, that's all I wear is Glamazon.
I actually have on Kim Baker's makeup. Yes, I am one of her.
Yes, we're Glamazon. And so we're doing the Power of Purpose Summit. We're doing November 19th in New Jersey at King University. So yeah, the tickets are on sale now at Eventbrite, and we're really excited. We're going to talk about our journey, and there will be over 200 women like yourself there sharing in their journey and learning as to how we can grow and network and go to the next level, all walking in our purpose.
I believe I'm going to be there. I also believe that I'm sponsoring a table of 10.
Oh, Al, thank you so much for that.
And I did speak to Baker when she called me. I just got off the phone with you, but yeah, one step ahead. Radio show will be sponsoring a table for 10, and we will be there. And I know I would love to be on the panel that you've been trying to get me on, but we'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about that later.
But so you just happen to, so you know what I really believe, LeCoe, is that what's meant to be is going to be. And by you taking these vacations and traveling the way you travel, you were at the right place at the right time where you met the right people. Because like I said, this is not something you've just been doing. You've been doing this for years.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden you just all over the place. And I see the clientele. I see the people in your picture. I see your guests. I see everybody there just having a really, really, really good time. But when it comes to wellness means different things, right? And different cultures. What have you learned from working across the globe?
In terms of wellness, can I tell you one thing I've learned is that right now is that health is a new wealth.
Ooh.
Globally, I'll be in Africa working with, let me tell you, I'm around more billionaires in Africa than I am in the United States. I'm like, it's a whole nother level in Africa. And they say the same thing, that health is a new wealth. If you don't have your health, you don't have anything.
That's
you really
true.
don't have much. If you can't enjoy what you've worked so hard for, right? Or if you're working so much that, your heart is bad and you're stressed out and, we have to learn how to release these things. Not all plans are created the same. The way that I work my company now, a lot of times We go the first month is the foundation stage, and I'm pulling out all of the toxins. I'm cleansing out. Remember, the outside is a reflection of the inside. I'm cleansing your gut, your colon, which is your belly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they say out of your belly shall flow rivers of living water. How can anything flow if you're backed up?
Mm-hmm.
If everything is all dammed up?
Mm-hmm.
And so the foundation stage, that principal stage, has to do with cleansing your belly and then working our way out from the gut to other areas like your adrenals, lymphatic system, things of that nature.
Mm.
But the result is always weight loss. Like in September, I was my client because
Okay.
I was so busy writing programs for everyone else,
Mm-hmm.
doing these amazing retreats, which are great. But I needed a September reset
For you.
for myself.
Okay.
I started September 3rd. By September 21st, I lost over 20 pounds.
Really?
And I only exercised like 2 or 3 times, and that was just to support.
Is that a week?
No.
A day? How many times do you exercise?
Well, during this time, because
Okay.
I was focusing on cleansing, I only exercised like 3 times, and those times were my mother's 70, turning 74 in December.
Mhm. Hey, Mom.
Hey, mommy. She travels with me. She can hike up mountains, but now I'm taking her in the gym,
Mhm.
and she's lifting weights.
Oh, wow.
And so I wanted to make sure her form was good, but I was focused on my praying, meditation, and cleansing my system and being really still and quiet. And for most of my clients, that's where we start. Then we go into the exercise. So the exercise is like building. We lay the foundation, we pull everything out, tear it down. That's getting out all of the toxins, parasites. So that's a whole other subject with parasites,
Mhm.
because
I'm sure
sometimes
it
when
is.
you have cravings and things of that nature, it's coming from that. And that's the foundation. And then we start to put up the pillars and put the windows in. And that's where now I do the exercise.
Okay.
And then in the third month, it's like the interior design where you're picking out your knobs and things of
So,
that nature.
someone like me who has a foot injury,
Mhm.
I'm sure you run across clients that don't have 100% of their capacity. They limit somewhere. Do you work with them? Because I worked with you when I had everything together, and
Mhm.
I've done excellent results. I've dropped weight with you. I did your juicing. I did your dieting. I did your retreats. But someone like me now wants to come aboard with you. My foot diagnosis is called drop foot. So how would you be able to help me, work out? Because I can't do all that running and jumping,
Mhm. Well, there are two things. One is so my knee injury, I was actually able to heal my knee injury. The first step was building up the muscles around the injury so that it supports the injury. So that's really important. And then creating that healing environment to where literally now right now at this point I have no knee problems. My knees are healed. And I had to do just a series of different types of fasting. That's different for everyone, but a high stem cell,
Wow.
diet or meal plan. So I'll give you an example. I had someone who broke their foot,
Mm-hmm.
and I said, okay, I'm going to give you a high stem cell meal plan, and I'm going to do a program that helps you rebuild stem cells. So every time she would go and she would get an x-ray, and the doctor's like, you're ahead of schedule and you're healing.
Oh, wow.
The last x-ray that they had, it was completely healed, but the doctor said there's no sign of the break. Like, usually when you have a break, it's healed, but you could tell once you had a break.
And that's because of the food.
And
the
that was
intake
because
of her meal.
So the food and sometimes the fasting, but but the food as well. You can't eat. So the multiplier effect that we talk
Yes.
about.
Yes.
What is that?
What is that?
Whatever you put in your body multiplies. Your cells multiply. So whenever you need to be very conscious of what it is that you eat and what it is that you're consuming. If you're consuming food that has a lot of chemicals and dyes that's multiplying in your body and it's suffocating your body needs an oxygenated, rich environment. So you want to eat things and items that you want to multiply in your body and nourish your cells. And there's times when you don't want to eat, when you want to fast, so that your body can rest from digesting food and can heal itself. So in terms of someone with injuries, remember I had an injury. I had an injury in both of my knees. So I do exercises that are hard on your muscles but not your joints. And the other thing is creating an environment for your body to be able to heal, so you have both components, and having a strong knowledge when it comes to anatomy, so that you're not doing exercises that will hurt
Mhm.
you or
Mhm.
injure you.
Um, with me, with me,
Hmm.
once I get started, there's no turning back. It's getting started.
Uh-huh.
So how do you encourage people to stay consistent with fitness when the motivation is not there or the motivation fades? How would you encourage them to just, what do you do with your clients that you feel might be starting to pull back a little bit or lacking any motivation? Do you have any key pointers that you want to like share that will get us out of that, back on that treadmill or back out there walking?
Yes, well, a couple of things. One, as I put up motivations on my Instagram, so follow me on Instagram. I have
What is your
either
Instagram?
look. My name is LeCoe Broadus is one, and Fitness Compulsion is the other on Instagram and on Facebook. But what I want to say is, usually the hardest part is getting started
Mhm.
because my clients are so busy. My clients live out of a suitcase. They travel, the way that I do. And so usually if is getting started, once they're started, then
Mm-hmm.
I take over,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Okay. Yes, you do.
once you
Yes.
get started and you
Yes.
sign on the dotted line,
Yes.
then I'm creating your programs. I'm sending you out your juices.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yep.
create your supplement list. I make everything so easy. It's
Yes.
literally click, click,
And
click.
and let me say this. I know you're a little bit different. You're doing global stuff now, but prior to that, you would drive to my house 3 to 4 times a week, and this was
Yes.
a while ago.
Yes.
But I had personal training with you. I
Mm-hmm.
had the bands. Um, and the thing about it is, if I'm going to spend my money, I need to see results.
Yeah.
And one thing I could say, starting out, and the way your attitude was towards me, it was not like mean spirit. It was always gentle and encouraged me to go forth. And as I started to see results, that is what
Yeah,
motivated
that's
me.
very motivating. But that's why too. I'm like, listen. I tell my clients, let's get you detox because you're gonna see usually with not usually within 3 weeks you're gonna see some major results,
Mhm.
and that can be discouraging. Which sometimes it happens to
Mhm.
where
Yes. Yeah.
you're doing the right thing and you're not seeing the results, but it can be very discouraging. But it's rare that I have a client that doesn't see results within the first 3 weeks. If so, they're not following the program.
And another thing too, you created an environment for brothers as well, but for sisters, women, and even in younger women, older women, who did a lot of networking, and
Mm-hmm.
we connected. And some of us are
Yes.
still friends
Yes, we're all
to
like
this day.
minded.
Yes, we
Mm-hmm.
are. And that goes back. That says a lot because that connection and that fitness and that workout and just being up in the Poconos and going on those hikes and going on those walks, they're still very fresh in my mind. So I'm just really excited about what you do with it. But what are some of the myths about fitness and wellness you like to debunk? What are
Oh,
some
let
things that
me.
you just want to like let's knock it
Oh,
out?
there's so. Oh my God,
Okay.
there's so many. One thing is okay. One thing is some people will say that you can't spot train, and that isn't true. Maybe they can't spot train. I
What
can.
spot train? Tell us what
Spot
spot
train is
train
like you
is.
pick a show me a spot you want to work on.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like
My arms.
okay,
My arms.
yeah, and to where you can't spot train. You can spot train. I had to build my hips in the gym.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
No BBL over here, no,
mm-hmm.
not with the hips or anything like that. But I went into the gym and I did, workouts that helped with my hips. A lot of trainers don't necessarily don't know how to do that. And so that's one thing is where you can spot train, but the other thing is you have to know is you can't out train a bad diet.
Oh wow. Say that
So
again.
you
Wow.
cannot say it again for the people in the
Yeah,
back. Okay,
say it,
you
yeah.
cannot out train a bad diet,
That's
and
deep.
so you can't.
Wow.
Most people like I haven't met one person who didn't want a flat stomach,
Mm-hmm,
and abs are made in the kitchen,
mm-hmm,
and so we do have to be mindful of what we're eating and what we're putting into our mouth, the calorie count and the content of the food,
mm-hmm.
as well, because if you by now you probably know I'm not a big fan of dairy.
No, no.
Right?
I don't think
And
you've
if you
ever
know me,
been.
I've never been.
Yeah, could you tell me that's
It,
that mucus?
yeah, exactly. And it's not like as a treat, maybe every now and then, but it's just you're gonna have to pay for the effects of it
Uh-huh.
later. But you can't out train a bad diet, and so you go to the gym, and then you're like, oh, I went to the gym today, so I'm gonna eat this cookie. No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
cannot out train a bad diet. I need to put that on a t-shirt. I like that.
Mhm.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
So you're gonna work out and train, but you're still gonna eat bad.
Yeah.
It's not going to work.
And of course it's better if you have to start somewhere, and but the clients tell that I work with, they're ready for it. They're not gonna pay me my fee to right to play games and things. They're like, I just need the knowledge. Give me the knowledge, the know-how. So yeah.
And not only did you come to did one-on-one personal training, you also came to several of the schools at different times and trained all the teachers.
Yes.
We trained under you. We had to get weighed in. We had that competitive spirit. We were giving out awards. Who dropped the most weight? They were scared to eat anything. It felt like you was watching them in a camera somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So you have really you've done a lot for me, and you have grown a lot. And I know that in this industry, I'm not sure if it's more women in the wellness industry or more men. But you, as a woman, what challenges have you faced in the women in being a woman, building your brand in the wellness industry?
Oh, that's a loaded question. That's a loaded question, and I almost want to be politically correct, and then in ways I don't. But if you can see forefront, when you think of like household names in terms of wellness, you don't hear of very many women, in particular Black women, right? Black men, they'll give them a chance, but I had to kick the door down as a Black woman in this industry. Yeah. I didn't knock on the door. I'm not knocking on. No, I had to literally kick the door down and 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 build my empire in such a way. And so I felt like there was maybe more that I had to prove, and it was just like I targeted, not targeted, but I my programs were geared towards women with either autoimmune disorders or melanated skin, because our dietary needs are different. And it's something that mainstream back then didn't want to really address, because they're like I've had marketers say some things to me, even in with trying to help. It's as a Black woman, just use your logo. You don't be in the forefront. Just let your logo be in the forefront, because your program is so amazing and what it does. But people will probably may not want to take that advice coming from a woman of color.
Right.
And that's not the direction, and it's respected of someone, that's the way that they went, but for me, that's not what God had for me. It's like, this is your brand, this is your company, and you got to be the at the forefront of it. So yeah, I didn't knock on doors, I kicked them down.
The doors down. She literally said she had to knock, she had to kick. And I get that. The name, what inspired you to come up with that name?
Oh, and I'm so glad that you. So fitness compulsion. One, people think I own a gym. I don't actually own a gym, but there's something called a creative compulsion that I heard of. And creative compulsion is like when people, and I might be paraphrasing a little bit, but like people have a brain injury and then somehow they get creative, and it's called a creative compulsion, right? But the trauma I went through from being overweight caused me to have a fitness compulsion. And so it was a compulsion for being fit, for being healthy, not being skinny, not overtraining, but to really be in an optimal health. And what is optimal health? The absence of disease, or the need of medication, disease, injury, or the need of medication. And so I had a compulsion for that, and to help other people obtain that as well. And so that's where the name came from.
So I met your mom, and I adore your sister. Like I said, we've been knowing each other for a very long time. Who or what inspired you to keep pushing? Because there's sometimes we all just feel like we just want to stop sometimes. Like today is Wednesday. Yeah. And I've had a really hectic week. And there were times I could have said, you know what, this is it, I'm done. But you have to, me personally, I have to just keep digging deep and just keep pushing myself. Sometimes you have to encourage yourself. Who or what inspires you to keep on pushing?
I mean, if I could just be honest, God, like what I'm doing, it's changing generations. So, there's been families that I have worked with that have had like generational diseases in them that have taken lives in generations past prematurely. We're able to kind of get down into what is it that's actually being passed down. I don't really believe in like, oh, an inherited
Right.
disease.
Right.
It's a trait
Right.
that you're inheriting. It's a mineral deficiency that all of your family have had. Like, so you're all eating the same way. And so to see families change, to see families to where you not have to suffer with type 2 diabetes anymore, and then or different types of diseases, and they call me and my children, they're 4, they're 6 is one particular family, and my children love these juices, and so I've also launched my company in Ghana as well.
Okay, tell us about that.
Oh yeah, so we do retreats there. I'm actually building a resort in Ghana.
I know. Say it again. That is awesome.
I'm building a resort in Ghana.
She is building a resort.
A wellness resort in Ghana.
Yes, wow, and that's fantastic.
Yes, and so we're already, as far as if someone goes to Ghana and they want a protocol, I can provide you with a private chef. We can go over what your meals look like, curate the menu, and we have our juices are launched there. So with this particular client, they're
and talk about your juices, because I don't think we elaborated a little too much on. You still doing your juices?
Absolutely,
they are delicious.
Yes, so we do now with the intolerance test. The juices are actually custom made according to what your intolerances are and what your needs are. If you're deficient in something, then we'll do the juices, curate them in a certain way to where we're able to combat that deficiency. So they're fresh juices. The only thing that's in them are certain fruits and vegetables, but it's combined in such a way that are really powerful and just designed to.
And you know what, LeCoe? I remember drinking your juices, and they're not mixed with anything else but pure juice.
Right? No pure juice.
Say that,
no additives,
because it is, you're getting
juice.
Exactly what you said. It's pure. It's no half of this and half of that. Then we add the water, and that makes it. That was not
no
the case.
Binders, no dyes. Absolutely, yeah.
Let me see. If you could leave the world with one wellness principle, one. I know you probably have many, but if you could leave the world with one wellness principle to live by,
it's easy. That your body is a temple, and to honor it as such.
Say it again, babe.
Your body is a temple, and honor it as such. This is not a dress rehearsal of this life, right? This is the real show. Take care of your body. So take care of your body like it is a temple. Everything that you put in it multiplies. That's why we have the multiplier effect framework. So think about everything you put into this temple is going to multiply. So yes, your body is a temple, or if you want to call it a fine machine, right? If you have this beautiful Ferrari or this beautiful Bentley or Rolls Royce, how are you going to treat it? What are you gonna put into it? And that's how we should conduct our lives.
Let me ask you this: if you wanted to give advice to someone looking to turn their passion into wellness, now I can give you all kind of advice if you want to go into early childhood education, but there's someone out there listening that might want to take their passion into wellness, into a global business, okay? And you're doing that. You've done that. You're doing that now, and you're very, very successful at it. What would be a basic start for someone who wanted to start their business?
Well, one thing is I would identify your passion, and it doesn't. Let's say that you love wellness, but you don't want to be a trainer, right? You love wellness, and you don't want to own a gym. But in the wellness industry, we need marketers. We need project managers. My daughter has a degree in neuroscience, and she's working with my wellness company.
Right.
And so thinking outside the box, don't just think that it has to be within the framework of exercise. I really think, there are a lot of those, which is fine. There can always be more, but you can take whatever passion you have and revert it or convert it into the wellness industry. You love designing clothes. You can design, clothing in the industry. And just know that this is a multi-trillion-dollar industry. Multi. So there's a lot of room. There's a lot of room for a niche out there,
Mhm.
and look at your passion,
Mhm.
and turn your passion into your purpose. That's what the whole summit is about
Yes,
on
yes. I
November
love
19th.
that. I
Yeah. So
love
if you have
that.
any more questions in regards to that, whether it's in entrepreneurship, how to start, where to start, how to go from I'm in this great C-suite position to I want to be an
Mhm.
entrepreneur, or I want to grow in my C-suite, the summit is going to be a great place for you.
When you were in Dubai, elaborate a little bit on what that was like to be in Dubai, because that is definitely on my list to go.
Oh, okay. Well, the first time I was in Dubai, I didn't get to enjoy it as much. I got to enjoy the conference. So I spoke at a conference in Dubai, and so it was amazing to be able to
Mhm,
speak. It was
mhm.
it was at the Trade Center in Dubai at the Middle Eastern Organic and Natural Conference. Was
Okay.
the first time. I've since been about 4 or 5 times
Okay. Yeah, I
after.
see that.
Yeah,
I see
but
that.
that was the first, and it was just amazing to be in that stage because they have people from literally all over the world in Dubai, and to be able to speak to that type of crowd and that
That's
type of base
amazing.
was absolutely amazing and an honor. Now the time difference was like they're 9 hours ahead of us,
So how'd
so
you handle that?
that's why the first time I went, I didn't get to see any of Dubai. I did my presentation. I spoke, and I slept, and I caught up with sleep with the jet lag. But then I've been back several times, and
Okay.
it's very peaceful. It's very safe.
Okay.
And so
That's nice.
yeah, I like Dubai a lot.
That's nice.
Mm.
Could you leave the world with one wellness principle to live by, and what would that be? I know you said definitely God's first, and I know you are a God fearing woman. I know um, how you brought up your children. I know what your religion beliefs were, how you honored God and you put God first in everything. That's something we did, and I know that was one of the reasons why you really liked my program.
Yes.
We still have that same program.
Oh, excellent.
In 2025, we do believe in making sure that we start our day off with prayer. And one reason why I still do that, because to switch this atmosphere just a little bit, there's so much going on in our school systems. When your babies were in my school when they were little, I didn't hear of a lot of shootings in school.
Yes.
And I know a lot of schools are not doing the prayer thing, but I'm a firm believer that prayer changes things. And I will stand on the fact that I really believe that we still, in home, out of home, in the car, on the bus, walking down the street, on the train, pray. Pray over your kids. It's so important. So that was something that I did then, and we're still doing it now, and it has worked for me. It has worked for me.
And let me tell you, if you're gonna allow us to change the atmosphere, let me. A principle is is to properly meditate, and and I'm so glad we're having this conversation. The world's idea of meditation is all wrong. It's to empty your mind. But if you literally look up the definition of meditate, and I would love for everyone to pause or grab your cell phone and Google it. It means to murmur, to utter, to ponder, not to empty out your mind. So empty mind. Lights in the law meditates on it day and night. How often should we meditate? Day and night. And what happens with that? You'll be like a tree planted by streams of living waters, whose leaves will not wither, who will bear fruit in its season, and everything you do will prosper. So let me break that down a little bit, since I got the invite to break the atmosphere. So I'm going to break that down. So if your leaves don't wither, right, from a holistic standpoint, leaves provide shade, but they provide nourishment. You take leaves and you can make herbs from them. You can make teas from them. They can heal. The herbs are here to heal the body, and bear fruit in its season. And fruit, when you eat fruit, it exposes the seed, right? And what do you do with the seed? You plant it, and there's more. So there's multiplication. And so wrapped up in the type of meditation that we're supposed to be doing, literally The Bible gives us a principle for meditation, and the mystery in that there are promises. If I go into the streams, what do streams represent? Like being watered,
Right.
being
Right.
nourished, right? Things of that nature. But with your leaves never withering and bearing fruit in its season, that means you have a season in and out of season. And the end with that promise is that you will prosper in everything that you do. So if you're meditating and you're not prospering, you're not doing it right.
Oh wow. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So what I would say is to, it's important to meditate, but you have to do it the right way, because what your belief system is, when you are your wellness is spiritual, whether you believe it or not, but there is spiritual. So with these certain things, when it comes to meditation, and the world may say one way, but it's contrary, to even to what the definition is. And so when it comes to meditation, I would look at doing it and studying and doing it the proper way. I actually have a meditation course where, let's say you can't sign up with me, and this is all part of my coaching and with the strategizing of your wellness.
Right.
But some people just want to really learn how to meditate, and it's beautiful. I filmed it in different parts of Africa, and it's absolutely amazing. It's to different waters. So we went to a beach in Africa. We went to a waterfall in Ghana.
Oh, wow.
And so it starts off at short, and then each week you progress, and by the end it's like 30 minutes.
I truly think meditation is very important. I'm not one who does it, but I do like the moments where I can get somewhere and think and be quiet or talk to myself, which is always something like in my car.
Yeah.
Because ain't nobody in your car, so you can say whatever you want. There ain't nobody back there. But that has always been, and I'm glad you're saying something about that. I would definitely look up that word. You visited me not too long ago, and you gave a scripture that you said that you read it every day, or you say it to yourself every day. Do you remember that?
Oh, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. Most people stop there. Most people say, oh, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. But every tongue that rises up against you in judgment, you shall condemn. Or different versions say it in different ways. So literally, don't just say a couple words of the scripture. Say the whole scripture, because it's the words that you have to condemn. So the weapons that's formed
Oh, wow.
are words.
Yes, they are.
Right, and sometimes we form those weapons against ourselves.
We do.
I don't let my kids or my clients say anything negative about themselves. And
and that's important. And that's another thing, LeCoe. I don't like being in a circle where there's nothing but negativity.
Yeah.
You want positive energy around you. You want to be encouraged. You want to be inspired. You want to be with people that are talking about how to gain stuff, not gossiping about what someone else is doing, but how can we get together? How can I do? How can I join you? How can I come aboard with you? But I have one more question for you. And you don't have to really answer it, but I'm going to ask it anyway, because I know you're doing something. You gave a little bit of what's coming on for the remainder of this year, but what's next for you in Fitness Compulsion in the coming years?
We're building the resort, which is absolutely amazing. But what's next is the technology phase. It's just more. I have some plans that I can't go into detail when it comes to just innovating the technology side of the wellness. I've had some people approach me about wanting to help build that out, a technology company, and so that is what's next to come is is the technology.
We get to a place, and okay, so you've been to Africa, so you've been building this school and you're doing all these things, but business mind people is always striving to achieve the next level, to tackle the next goal. One thing I always say, and I saw this somewhere and I never forget it. A lot of times we lay down and we go to sleep and we got our heads on our pillows. That's where we do a lot of thinking. Yeah. Even when we sleep, we're dreaming, or when we just laying there and you come up with some beautiful ideas. It could be 3:00 in the morning. I tell people, take your dreams off your pillows. Don't be scared. Don't be scared to roll the dice.
I sleep next to a pen and a notepad.
Yeah, there you go.
I wake up.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, and then go back to sleep.
Those visions will come to you at 3 a.m.
Yes.
And you'll wake up at 8:00 and be like,
what was that? I had something. Yeah.
It was that. When you don't have $1 million idea.
Right.
Write it down. Take it off your pillow implement it.
That was what I was going to say.
keep
Implement
keep
it. Yes.
going. Don't give up. And I got one more minute. I need you to just say something positive out there to that camera.
Oh, if I can do it, anybody can. I was 215 pounds. I was sick. I had bad knees. I had arthritis in both knees, and I could have said, I could have said, I'm giving up. Though this is just how life is. But I decided to take life into my own hands, and there's nothing special about me. It's just the fact that I did it, and if I can do it, so can you.
And keep in mind, we're not trying to be anybody's doctor here. We're just trying to show you a better way to live.
Yes.
Health
Yeah, I
is a
want to say
new
I work
wealth.
with doctors, not against
Thank you.
them. Most of my clients are actually doctors. and
Doctors, they
surgeons.
are. That is so
Yes.
true.
Yes.
And judges.
Yep. Yes.
I want to thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you guys have gained a lot of wealth knowledge here towards being healthy and wealthy. This has been One Step Ahead radio show. Thanks for tuning in. I give a big shout out to all my followers. I will see you next Sunday. But remember this, if life continues to push you back, what must you do? Take one step ahead. See you next Sunday.
Amazing.
Yeah.